Welcome to On the Agenda, the show that lets you know all about the actions your city leaders are making. At its regular meeting on Monday, August 4th, Missouri City Council members welcomed new members to the city's boards and commissions, viewed a presentation on a recent citizen survey, and viewed a check presentation to the city's fire and police departments. Here is a full list of council's actions from their meeting. Council began the meeting by administering the oath of office to members of the city's board, committees, and commissions. Both returning and first-time board members were present to be sworn in and congratulated by council.
The duties of the office of, and state what that office is. Of the state of Texas. And will, to the best of my ability. Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. And the laws of the United States. And of this state. So help me God. Congratulations. Thank you.
Representatives from the Missouri City Police and Fire Auxiliary next presented Fire and Rescue Services and the Police Department with $11,000 checks each.
I'm Bobby Marshall. I'm the treasurer of the Missouri City Police and Fire Auxiliary. Some of the items that the different departments have used during that time, if I'm correct, the first thermal cameras that were used in the city were purchased with our funds. We helped purchase the SWAT van for our SWAT team through both a grant and through our donation. We purchased a gator that our EMTs use to get to patrol and to answer services on our various trails and parks. We have financed the equipment for our dive team when it was started. So what we have done is try to push City Council to put things into their budget by saying, hey, these are things you need to buy on next year's budget. I know how the budget works.
Council next heard a presentation from Creative Consumer Research on a citizen survey the company performed from November 2013 to April 2014. The company performed 304 phone interviews with Missouri City residents, asking about resident satisfaction with a variety of city services, departments, and programs.
So our conclusions based on the research, your general ratings were mostly favorable. Majority or more than 60% were top box scores where it's very or excellent or good. Economic development, we saw that you need to attract more businesses and jobs. Public safety, they feel safe, but they want more crime prevention education. Mobility, as I said, they want to drive their cars around the city, so keep the streets and traffic moving. Parks and Rec, most don't go to the recreation and tennis center, so if your goal is to do that, then you need to focus on ways that you can attract them and increase membership. Solid waste, we saw that you need to improve your trash collection and go green. And communication, as I said, better emergency preparedness communication.
Council heard a presentation by Metro on its system reimagining results and local service options. Council took the opportunity to ask the Metro representative about their plans for Highway 90A and stressed their desire for some sort of transportation along this route.
Did your presentation include 90A?
No, as I said, this project is strictly about the local bus network. It's not about commuter rail, it's not about park and ride service, it's just about our local bus system.
I'm kind of like Don, and until we see an overwhelming desire from the residents of Missouri City to want bus service, and let me just say that I go way back going to the HOAs, even when Shirley DeLibero was CEO of Metro and she wanted to bring bus service into the city. We actually went to the HOAs, and even in my predominantly minority sections of this town, which you would think would use bus service, they said, hell no, we don't want buses in our city. We don't want those people coming into our neighborhood. That's the attitude. Now, having it down major thoroughfares, down 90A to the park and rides and stuff may be something to consider, but I just know that unless the citizenry of Missouri City has changed its overwhelming desire to have buses, I haven't seen it.
During the consent agenda portion of the meeting, council pulled 2 agenda items, the first of which was related to awarding a contract for on-call electrical services to A-Leaf Electrical Mechanical. Councilmember Chris Preston
question?
asked staff if this decision
Well, I
could
would
go
like
through
to
the
remove it for
recently adopted
discussion.
small business
That's what we're here
program.
for. I mean, you have a question?
Yes, how does the small business initiative play a role in awarding these contracts?
Well, 2 items on that. One, the bidding process started before the adoption of the Small Business Initiative, but this is also a straight bid process, not a competitive sealed proposal, so that would not be applicable to this type of bid.
Everybody has an opportunity to bid on it.
That is correct.
Council approved the item unanimously. The second item pulled from the consent agenda was to approve IPS advisors for insurance benefits consulting services. Although council eventually approved the item after a lengthy discussion, the way in which companies are chosen was questioned by council.
But the overall decision-making process, most of the points that's awarded is geared towards subjectivity.
Correct.
Okay. And my
But the
question is,
subjectivity is based upon staff who has expertise in reviewing these, working with the companies, knowing what the RFP called for.
now
And
this is
so,
going to come as a surprise. So I'm going to ask Jerry this. Is that common in your experience?
Any system that you come up with, if you believe in it, you stick with it, you never get all the subjectivity out of anything hardly.
65%?
Well, 65% is kind of high if, you know,
Well, if we went with price, 65% price, we'd be right where we're at today.
well, you know, I guess,
That's a good point, but I'm just looking at the overall process. I mean, there would be no
This-
arguments if, you know, if you had some quantitative measurements there and then 40% or 20% would be subjectivity and experience, then nobody could argue with it at all. Nobody could say a thing. I don't know if
you're
my
right.
thinking is kind of abstract here, but it seems to me.
for once you're right. I'm just joking.
Council held a public hearing and approved on the first of 2 readings an ordinance to allow a church and its affiliated school to move classes into the church's existing community center for the 2014 to 2015 school year. Council questioned staff and church representatives if this would have possible property tax issues.
Move to adopt. Second. I do have one question that most of the church schools are typically operated by the churches themselves. And I guess the question is Trent International a for-profit, a not-for-profit, going into a not-for-profit setting, which is not owned by the school?
So, I'm not sure if the school representatives are here, the church representatives are here, and they would be more appropriate to
And
speak
the
towards
reason
that.
I asked that question is because I'm concerned about the fact is that how does this affect our ad valorem taxes when a for-profit goes into a not-for-profit setting to operate?
And finally, Council passed a resolution expressing their support to Fort Bend County to expand the Texas State Technical College system in the Richmond-Rosenberg
the college
area.
for this campus, and they came to me and asked us to at least support it. I told them that financially, we were not in a position to contribute towards it because they were asking I think the city of Richmond's kicking in $2.5 million. The city of Rosenberg's $2.5 million. City of Rosenberg's kicking in $500,000. They were asking us for money and they're asking Sugar Land, but I reminded them again that we were an HCC and that we needed to take care of our own college. Now, you're right, anybody in Fort Bend County would be able to go there. And we've got young people in this city who would benefit from being able to go to a college like this to learn a trade, a skill. We need them, and I'm glad that they're putting one in the county so that our kids can have an opportunity to go there, and it's not that far to drive, so. That's what
A
this
full list of
resolution
council's
does. All it is
decisions,
help the
including
county
the
go to
consent
state.
agenda, can be viewed under the Council Connection link at the bottom of the MissouriCityTX.org front page. For Missouri City, I'm Corey Stottlemyre.